This week I learned there really isn't much that I would not do for my kids. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another weekly update. Kind of a little hiatus this week, which we'll get into, but we are about halfway through spooky season now, and guys, I didn't read that much this week, but we're going to talk about all the reasons why and what's going on in real life and things like that. But we're going to begin like usual, guys, with what am I reading? Guys, I can tell you I finally finished Blackest Heart. This was a monster of a book, and I felt like it took me almost a month and 2.5 other books for me to get through it. And again, I want you guys to understand it's not because it was bad at all. It was just a me thing. And also, this is a very, very big book. It is a very, very big one. I know everybody on my Discord seemed like they blew through it. They all listened to the audiobook. And I'm not saying that if you listen to the audiobook, it doesn't count or something. I'm just saying maybe it's easier to binge that way. But anyway, back to this book here. I will say I did think it was much slower than Forgetting Moon was. Not necessarily boring, but much slower paced. Now, the last 250 pages, though, yeah, it has that, the Durfee, I didn't come up with anything clever. Maybe you guys can come up with something, I don't want to say the Durfee Lanch, or I got the Gwenami, we got the Sander Lanch. I got to come up with something for Durfee, because both of his books, the last third, have just been awesome. But I am very anxious to find out where he concludes this with Lonesome Crown next month. I mean, it's technically December, because I think it comes out like the last day of November, but, you know, it releases in November, so we're going to say next month. But I am excited to see where Brian does take it. Do have lots of questions, but I'm just now at the part where I'm still just thinking about things. I got to put together like a list of things. I got to figure out who's got what item, who is where, who's with who's still alive, all those things, where they're going, what I think they might do here in the final act. But yeah, it took me a while, but obviously, guys, it is still a book I very much will recommend that you check out when you got some time, or, you know, if you want to go through it really quickly, I guess apparently get the audiobook, because everybody that did the audiobook finished it in a couple of days. After that, guys, I went ahead and I did go ahead and start The Exorcist. I think I told you guys this last week that my wife asked me not to start it because she wasn't ready, and then when I started reading Summer of Night, she started reading The Exorcist, and I was like, the heck? So she's about halfway through it. I'm about the first 50 pages or so. So far, it's a little different than the movie in that it's giving Reagan's mom, I can't think of her name at the moment, it gives her a little bit more about her career than the movie did, where it just kind of, I think the movie just kind of says, oh yeah, she's a movie star. You know, she's an actress, but it doesn't really go into that much of her career, whereas this really does. I'm at the part where they're playing with the Ouija board, so yeah, that's where I think we're going to start getting a little more into stuff that might seem familiar if you were like me and you've watched the movie 167 times. Keeps getting funnier every time I see it, and this. You know, reading the book for the first time, you're going to notice the differences there. But I'm excited to see how we go with this, and I think that this will be a much quicker read, obviously, than a Brian Lee Durfee book is. But yeah, classic in every regard, right? Let's find out, because this was a bucket list item for me when it comes to reading. So this and The Godfather, knocking them out pretty much in back-to-back months here, is going to be really, really awesome, and I cannot wait. So that's really much it, guys. Like I said, I didn't read for like 6 days in a row. And that's because if you missed it, I got the flu, and that really, really kicked my ass. I got the flu on a family vacation, which we'll talk about in a minute. Before we do that, guys, let's go ahead and talk about what am I going to read. Obviously, this week my goal is to finish The Exorcist. Like I said, I don't think it's a very long read, because I do need to catch up with my wife, and we do want to watch the movie. So we're going to try to run through this book as quickly as possible, and that way we can watch the movie and not have to fight about watching Midnight Club with her, because we do have all these movies we want to watch, but we keep watching Midnight Club, and then I'm gonna get back on Summer of Night. I did take a break from it because it wasn't really doing it for me at first, but literally everyone else in the Discord that's reading this is like really about 2 or 3 chapters away from where I stopped, is where they say it just completely takes off. So I'm definitely not DNFing, but I did go ahead and cut The Exorcist in front of it, because, like I said, it is something that me and my wife are trying to read together, and I got to caught up with her, because I think she told me on the Kindle she's at like 58%. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I got some catching up to do, so we're going to try to do that. I can't let my wife finish a book before me. That would not be a healthy marriage, but I'll be getting back to this after that. That is the goal. And then after that, I think the next spooky season one is Let the Right One In by John Lindqvist, which I'm very, very excited to do. So how about this week on the channel, guys? Yeah, so I did my book haul for September of 2022. It was a rather big one. I did get some really big gifts in that one. I am still really, really keeping down the green tea. So I got lots of gifts in that one. I wanted to talk about some big ones. I got like a whole manga collection and stuff. So there was lots of stuff that I wanted to talk about in that one and take some special time to thank some people. And there was even some stuff that I had to say, you know what, I'll go ahead and talk about that next month. Some stuff from like publishers and stuff. Because obviously I want the priority to be thanking people, viewers that send me stuff, not publishers. So I would actually put a spotlight on that. So there's a couple things I said, I'll just hold off this until next month because, yeah, it was just too much. It was too much for me to kind of stack up and talk about everything. But book hauls are always a lot of fun, and it seems that you guys do enjoy those. So I'm very happy that I was able to do that. We did do our Throne Zone episode number 8. That was for House of Dragon, episode 8, The Lord of the Tides. An excellent episode. And I think, despite the fact that I still had a fever, I went ahead and did that episode with Scott and Madison because it was just such a good episode. I wanted to talk about it. And I didn't want to. So we talked about, okay, maybe we'll just either not do one for this episode or maybe we'll double up next week. And then it was so good. I was like, okay, no, we got to talk about this. So we went ahead and did that. We did it on Tuesday night instead of Monday night. And yeah, just awesome time. And yeah, it made me feel a lot better, honestly, because I was just feeling the dregs for days. And getting to talk about that was a lot of fun, something we're going to continue to do. But we should be going back to Monday night for the next 2 episodes, the final 2 episodes of this season. That is the hope. So, yeah, I did get the flu. And here's the thing, guys. We went on a family trip I think I told you guys about last week. We were going to San Antonio, Texas. We were going to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. We were going to this place called Natural Bridge Caverns, which is like this underground cavern where you can see all the natural formations and stuff. That used to be like under the ocean. It's really amazing. It really, really is. And the San Antonio Zoo, the Alamo, all those things. Everything fun that you can. There's a lot to do in San Antonio. People don't realize. They think it's just the Alamo and that's it, if they even know about that. But we plan to do several things there. And literally the morning before we leave for the trip, I wake up with shivers. Like really bad, like could not stop shivering. Sure enough, I take I take a virus that shall not be named test, negative. So I'm like, okay, I should be okay. At least I don't feel bad about maybe going out. So I went ahead and just, did your usual stuff, your Dayquil, your NyQuil, your ibuprofen, your Tylenol extra strength, all that stuff. And it was like one of those things where as we got there, I was like, okay, I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. And we stop at that cavern place I'm talking about. So we're 200, 300 feet underground, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh no. And the fever kicks in really, really bad. And guys, I don't know if you've ever had the flu. It's not anything you can just walk off. It's not anything you can power through. Really, you can do so much before your body just collapses. So here I am worried that I'm going to collapse in 300 feet underground and have to have them carry me to emergency help. But I did actually make it through, made it to the car, passed out like immediately. Then we went to the zoo. I re-drugged back up. And here's the thing about Dayquil, guys. Like, it'll get your fever down for like a couple of hours and it'll come back, right? So it was a rough day that first day. They went to dinner. I went to the hotel and just went to sleep and slept all the way through. And then the next day, we were actually going to Fiesta, Texas, which is Six Flags. There's an amusement park, if you guys don't know. My kids have never seen roller coasters and stuff. And my wife's like, do you just want to stay here? And I'm like, no, I don't want to miss this. So I heavily medicated again, drank more Powerade than you can imagine. And we went for 10 hours, guys. That's why I said, this is when I realized I will do anything for my children. Because a lot of people would have said, I just can't do it. But I was like, I'm not missing this. I'm not missing this. And I was like, the hell with my body who decides I'm going to be fine year-round until I take a trip with my kids. So it was a tough weekend, guys. I did struggle through it, but I did make it. My voice has been really jacked up. I feel like today's the first day it's actually been, decent, but I also made it a point not to talk much at work today and just drink green tea. And I said, you know what? Voice is feeling okay enough that I can do this video here. But it's fun of a vacation as you can have when that's going on. I mean, look, guys, the flu sucks. It's the worst. And by the way, I took the virus that shall not be named test twice. And it came back negative. So no snarky comments, please. Anyhow, but yeah, it was a interesting trip that we made the most out of, and I think in the end the kids had fun. And really, as a dad, that's all you can ask for. That's really all you want, is that the kids had a lot of fun. My oldest kind of wimped out a little bit on some of those scarier roller coasters. He did one, and I could see the look in his eyes. Oh, I've been talking all this mess about how tough I am, and all of a sudden, maybe not. So we did a lot of moderate coasters, and I said, you know what? A couple more years, maybe you'll be little more ready, because I will go on any roller coaster. I love roller coasters. I love the super scary ones. You got this one called Dr. Diabolical's, and it has like a 90-degree drop. And before you do that drop, it like hangs you over the edge for like 7 seconds. Yeah, give me more of that. So yeah, obviously my oldest isn't quite ready for that, but I think he will be in a couple years, and we'll do a day trip, just him and I, back out there. It'll be a lot of fun. But that was why there wasn't much content on the channel this week, guys, because my voice was just screwed, and I was like, I'm not going to try to force anything. So I'll try to roll some of that other stuff I had planned into this week if I can. So thank you for letting me make this like an impromptu vacation vlog, guys. I appreciate you for letting me do that. Let's talk about some next week plans. Obviously, I said I was going to do a top 10 Cosmere characters. Well, I'm going to kind of move that to this week, and that's really something that I think I want to do, because I did actually doodle that on a notepad on my phone while I was actually kind of feeling sick and not wanting to read, but I was like, I want to do something, and I just started doodling down just off the top of my head my 10 favorite Cosmere characters, and I got 15 of them. So instead of doing a Durfee, I've got to narrow that down to 10, and I think that's what makes it a fun conversation to have. That'll probably be the only shorter video this week, because the rest of the thing, guys, I've got so many discussions scheduled for this week between the two channels, and I think they're going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, we're going to do House of the Dragon episode 9. That's called The Green Council. We're going to be doing that, like I said, on Monday, but on Saturday, this Saturday, the 15th, we are bringing back Saturday Night Nights 4, and my guests this time are going to be Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative, which is amazing that her and I haven't collaborated yet, because we started about the same time. And we've always been in constant communication. I don't know why this is the first time that we're actually collaborating, but I'm glad that it's finally happening. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to be joined also by A.R. Witham. He is the author of Legend of Blackjack, which you've heard me talk about a couple times on here. And apparently, him and I share a brain when it comes to pop culture media. So I think there's going to be lots of stuff that we get to talk about there. And then an up-and-comer, Alex, over at Tall Guy Reads. I have been watching his channel lately, and I really do like. I can't wait to dive in to his Robin Hobb stuff when I get further into Realm of the Eldlings, because he has like some 3 or 4 hour spoiler discussions on there. So I think that'll be a lot of fun once I actually do read those here. I am planning to do those in November for Live Ship, so I'm excited to dip back in. So Alex, Leslie, and Andy, I can't wait to have them on the channel for Saturday Night Nights. That'll be 7 o'clock Houston, Texas time. Go to timeanddate.com if you want to join us. That will be live, so if you guys want to participate, join in the conversation, we would be happy to have you there. Then I'm going to be talk about nothing for the month of October, and since we're sticking with a spooky season theme, I'm going to be having Rachel from the channel Shades of Orange, one of the best horror booktubers out there, and I am excited to pick her brain, because I think when it comes to horror, I'm like Stephen King and then some other stuff, where she's like, yeah, all this stuff and maybe some Stephen King. She's really much more into horror than I am, or she's read more horror than I have, and I can't wait to see where that conversation leads. It should be a lot of fun. I think she's just an awesome human being, and I can't wait to talk to her on the channel. We've had really great discussions. Again, I think she started actually before me, but she was around when my channel first got started, and we've always been just in communication. So I'm happy that we get to talk a little bit more than just the occasional tweet or the occasional YouTube comment or something. I'm excited to have her on the channel. Then over on Mike's Media Reviews, subscribe, guys, if you haven't yet. I haven't hit my 4,000 hours of watch time over there yet, but I honestly haven't done a ton on there because it's life. It's just kind of gotten in the way. But I'm going to be debuting a segment over there, which is basically going to be the Talk About Nothing version over on Mike's Media Reviews. I'm going to call it the Idiot Box. Now, I hope people don't think that's insulting, but the Idiot Box is basically what us Gen Xers called the television, the Idiot Box. Or at least that's what our parents called it. And so I thought that'd be fun, because we'll be talking about probably mostly movies and TV and things like that. But I could not pass up the opportunity to have my favorite horror guy out there and my side when it comes to Stephen King things. Jaime Infuego from The Horror Show is going to be my first guest on there, and I cannot wait to see where that conversation goes, because, you know, he and I will always want to get together and talk about Stephen King, but, you know, Jaime is a real big metal fan. We both watch a lot of the same movies and TV stuff, and we're similar ages, so I can't wait to talk to him over there, and that should be a ton of fun. That'll be happening, I think, Thursday night. I'm not really exactly sure. I'm not sure if that one's going to be live. I don't think I have enough subscribers over there to go live with those yet, so that might be pre-recorded. I'm not really sure yet. And then I'm thinking I might have a couple of just some reviews over there. I'd like to do a Succession Season 1 review, because yes, while I was sick, I did stay home sick from work a day, and I did binge almost the entire first season of Succession. So I think I might review Succession Season 1, and maybe Halloween Ends. It comes out tomorrow, I think. It comes out on Peacock, and in theaters. We'll be watching it on Peacock. But maybe if I get a chance to watch that, I will go ahead and do a quick little 5-minute review for it. I know a lot of people didn't like Halloween Kills. I liked Halloween Kills a lot. So critics are saying the same things about it that they said about Halloween Kills, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, great, maybe I'll like it. I don't know. Low expectations, hope for the best, expect the worst. That's the kind of way that I approach all Halloween sequels, because they've been more bad than good, if I'm being honest. But if this is the last hurrah here for, you know, Laurie and Michael, I obviously need to see this final fight between the two of them. But let's go ahead and move along to TV and movie talk here. Since I'm going to be talking about it on Mike's Movie Reviews, I want to go ahead and just say real quick, Succession Season 1, really good, guys. It's really good. I mean, it's not shocking why this show gets so much press, and it's got so many awards and accolades, and so many people have been telling me to watch it. What I did find kind of funny is how there was so many people like, I don't really know if that's going to be your thing. You guys do know that I am a business finance major and a marketing minor, right? So of course I'm going to love a show based on that kind of stuff. Now, I haven't worked in that kind of high stakes, you know, kind of corporate like they are in that show. So it's more of a kind of like I love it, but I would never actually do it. It's too high stress for me. But obviously I love that stuff. And then of course the family drama is just a bonus. It is very much, I can see a lot of Godfather. I can see a lot of Westeros, modern day Westeros kind of stuff in there, really, for sure. And just cutthroat business. I mean, these people are just cutthroat. So, yeah, I'm liking it quite a bit. I'm very anxious to start Season 2 pretty soon. We're about halfway through Midnight Club, the new Mike Flanagan series on Netflix. Again, we went out of town, and then I got sick, all that stuff. That's something we're watching together, so that doesn't always go as we plan, you know, because we got scouts, we got real life and things. So it's hard for us sometimes to find time together when we're both free to watch stuff, but we're about halfway through it, liking it. I do like the way that they've worked in other Christopher Pike novels into it. Now, Midnight Club is a Christopher Pike novel, but in the show, they have the kids where they tell like ghost stories, basically, without spoiling anything for you. And the stories that they're telling in there are other Christopher Pike novels. I think that's such a neat idea. And I wouldn't have known that with my wife. My wife's read a lot of these. So that was a really, really cool effect. But I mean, guys, it's Flanagan. I think it's great that he's trolling about jump scares. There was a thing where people were like, oh my God, why is there so many jump scares in this first episode? And that was intentional. Mike Flanagan said basically he wanted to use jump scares so much to make them pointless. I mean, even the characters on the show call it bullshit, so I think that's just him taking a shot at all the people who've always said that, you've got to have jump scares to have good horror, modern horror, and Mike Flanagan does not like to do that. So, yeah, that's Flanagan just being Flanagan, you guys, and the guy doesn't miss. What can I say? Dune Sisterhood. You guys heard about this new series they're going to be doing? Look, when it first was announced, I said I felt like this was just a bone that they were throwing Brian Herbert so he stayed off the movie set. And it turns out that might be true because obviously it has been confirmed this is going to be based off his Sisterhood of Dune novel that he wrote with Kevin J. Anderson. And there's going to be some stuff for some other Brian Herbert Dune novels in there as well. And that is enough for me to say, no fucking thank you. I have no interest in watching this. So, yes, if you guys don't know, I absolutely abhor what he's done to his dad's series. It's one of those things where Brian said that he had the notes, which he's never provided. That's why I say notes. He's never actually provided evidence of this to finish the Dune Chronicles, which was supposed to be one book. The guy has wrote 16. So yeah, he's just completely just pulled down his shorts and took a crap and completely just like obliterated everything that his dad's done. So yeah, I have strong opinions about it. You know, obviously being my favorite science fiction book, my favorite singular book of all time, dude. So I have strong opinions about it. But, you know, I want more people to discover the world of Dune. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully the writers can elevate it. Yeah, that's all. That's my hope at this point. Hopefully they can take that material and elevate it a little bit. So when you got something like Rings of Power where I'm like, will you follow the source material? This would be like, can you maybe do your own thing? You know, usually where I'm like, yeah, follow the source material. This I definitely like for them to do their own thing. But yeah, guys, it was a very, very interesting week for me. Obviously, I should probably go ahead and stop this before my voice is gone again, because I feel like I'm using it all right now. But I love you guys, and I couldn't help but you know, give you a weekly update on a week where I only gave you a couple of videos. So it should be back to normal next week, as long as I continue to get good rest and lots and lots and lots of green tea. So guys, how was your week? Why don't you drop in the comments? Let me know what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're listening to, what you are playing, and I will talk to you down below.